welcome to ReCall The Midwife. We are a fan podcast. Every week we watch an episode of Call The Midwife and then we talk about it. Today we are talking about Series 13, Episode 8. I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen. I'm Jen. A quick reminder that this week's episode deals with adoption, discussions of domestic violence, and substance abuse. So if those topics are ones you prefer to skip this time, we understand and hope you join us for the next one. In this week's episode, Sheila and Patrick get some unexpected and mysterious news from May's biological mother, which leads to a big decision about her future. Miss Higgins gets a surprise visit that uncovers a big secret from her past, and Trixie is struggling in the wake of Matthew and Jonty's departure for New York. With the help of Jeffrey, she is able to turn things around and reconcile with Matthew. Joyce continues to deal with her ex-husband's blackmail, but the help and support from Rosalind, Nancy, and most importantly, Sister Julianne makes it possible for her to break free. Meanwhile, Nancy helps an expectant mother give birth in a surprising venue, and Violet spearheads a Mother of the Year event in Poplar.
Whoa! Episode, guys. This is a classic. Once we started watching it, I realised what was about to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is absolute classic. One of my favourite episodes ever.
I will say, for me, because of a very small part of it, this might be in like my top 5 or top 10.
I think we're both talking about the same part.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Well, we're going to find out. Aren't we?
What should we talk about first?
Should we talk about Trixie and Matthew first? Because I don't know on these two. You guys, Trixie's wig was so intensely wiggy this week. It was wigging. The part where she was where she was burning the lady's urine to test for like some disease or whatever, and she had the alcohol that she was splashing all over herself and everything. Her wig was so... It was like just like bopped on her head. I like all respect to the professionals, hair and makeup and costumes and everything on the show, but like I don't know what was going on, but it just looked very like wiggish this week for me.
Do you know what? If it's a good job that she dropped that, was it methylated spirits that she was burning? It's a good job she did that in the 1960s, because if she dropped it now, her nurse's outfit would have been so synthetic that she'd have gone up like a candle.
It's true. So let's talk about how we first see her this episode. So Trixie calls up after oversleeping, right? Now, I was a bit conflicted on this storyline. So she speaks to Rosalind, and Rosalind's like, oh, that's not good. You're not going to make it. I was like, all right. She was very, what's the word? She just was a bit adding insult to injury. Is that the word, right term?
Trixie seemed like she was in a bad way from start to finish.
Well, this is my thing, though, because obviously she's been given these pills. And I feel like the slant on these pills in this episode is like it's a bad thing she's taking them, or that she's become too... That's what I'm saying. Is it that she's become too, what's the word? Reliant on them?
Dependent?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I missed that because when I didn't see a scene with her with a doctor or a prescription or anything like that. So is that what happened? She went to the doctor?
Yeah, in the last episode, she spoke to Dr. Turner. And she's like, and she was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm in a real state. I can't think. I can't eat. I can't sleep. And he was like, right, sleeping tablets.
Oh, okay. I don't think I saw that scene. So I was kind of like...
When she rings in sick, she doesn't ring in sick. She rings in to say she's going to be late. She basically like looks at the pills.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was started to get nervous because when which scene was it? The shot was it was in the doctor's office waiting room, and in Miss Higgins' desk was on the right, and it had that shot where you could see right into the little like prep room or whatever they have just off of the door, and you could see her taking pills and like swallowing them down really fast and then putting them in her pocket, and I was like, and my mom said to me, she's like, what do you think she's taking? I was like, oh, I think she's maybe just taking like aspirin or something like that, because I didn't think she was taking anything like harder than that. But then when she burns her legs and she takes the pills out of her pocket and she's like, they're caffeine pills. Girls, wait a minute. I'm sorry. This is kind of funny. Did you guys get Saved by the Bell when you were growing up? Okay, do you remember the episode, and I know our American listeners will appreciate this, that are in this age bracket. Do you remember the episode where Jessie OD'd on caffeine pills, and it was like she was taking heroin, and they had to do an intervention, and they went into her room, and Zach like pulled
I can imagine it, but I don't remember it.
Oh my God, girls, it was like, it honestly, like flashed me right back. She was like, look what I've done to myself, and she's like, I'm taking them, she's like, I haven't slept in 4 days or whatever, and that was so Jessie on that episode, because she was such an overachiever, and she wanted to do well, and it was like she was taking the caffeine pills. They were just, that's all they were. But like on the show, it made it out like she was literally taking the highest dose Adderall. Like she was just taking speed, it was Tic Tacs or whatever. Anyways, that's what it made me think of when Trixie said it was caffeine. But it sounded like she was on, I mean, again, the caffeine is caffeine, but then her brother, when she goes with Jeffrey, he says that it's sleeping pills that she's got as a prescription. And that's when he throws them down the sink. I know I'm jumping way ahead, sorry, but...
Yeah. But I don't know. They did make it seem like the pills were problematic.
Yeah,
and
that's
he
what I
says
mean.
to
But
her,
the problem is, she was
It
given
is
these
problematic,
pills.
though.
Yeah, but she was given them only the week before by Dr. Turner. It's like, I thought it was just a bit reductive because I just feel like they can help and they were prescribed by a doctor. But then Jeffrey's like, she's there. She literally is walking out like round like a zombie though, even though she's getting the sleep. She's sleeping too much now, apparently. And then obviously we'll talk about the birth or whatever when she had amniotic fluid on her face for her.
Oh, God,
but it was just the way she was just like going through the motions. I think they were trying to show. We'll talk about that.
Well,
but then she obviously...
It escalated incredible. I mean, here's the thing with the show, and this is the only gripe I'm going to have with this episode. But they crammed. This should have been a two-parter, you guys. This really should have been like a Christmas special where it was like over like an hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes long, because the way that they tried to do so much in the time of a regular episode, it was a little bit. It was kind of the warp speed we were going at with a few different storylines did kind of give me a bit of a it was a bit of a problem for me. So and Trixie,
I really wanted them to concentrate on one.
Yeah, they should have kind of I don't know, either not done so much or done as much but with more time.
Well, so anyway, Trixie is all like a zombie. She then, Sister Julienne's like, we've got none of the little whatever strips we need to test. Yeah, to test the wee. Can you sort it in the old-fashioned way, which involves fire for some reason? And Trixie's like, yeah. And then Sister Julienne pops her head in like, don't worry, I found him. She's like, whoa.
Well, she was a mess anyway, though, because she's like sniffed that alcohol, and I thought, don't you drink that alcohol, girl. Yeah. And then she like splashed
I think it was methylated spirits. Do you remember that? There was that guy that was drinking methylated spirit.
Yeah, his leg fell off.
His foot came off.
Yeah.
In his shoe.
I mean, that's not normally a normal side effect of just sipping it.
Well, I don't know that she would have gone that way, but just to say, like, when you're deep into like an addiction, like you'll do a lot of stuff that is, but anyways, but she was just splashing it everywhere. You could just tell that she was.
That's the other thing.
Not all the right.
Once she sets on fire, she just kind of stood there like she was catatonic. Sister Julienne to action. What a bloody
Rose her over the bed.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Amazing.
But we do have to say, because you touched on it earlier, that it's like she's going through the motions. My favourite bit was when that woman delivered the baby and then Trixie just goes, it's a girl.
Yeah. And she's like, no, congratulations would be nice. Awkward.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could just tell when she got splashed in the face with the amniotic fluid, and she really got badly splashed. It wasn't just a demure, it went into her eyes, it went into her mouth, it went into her nose.
I would probably have punched the mom, if I'm honest.
And the mom goes, oh, did I wee on you? Like that, and she was like, no, it's just amniotic fluid. But you could tell at that point, she was like, if I could get up off of this floor and walk out on this lady right now, I would absolutely do it. Yeah. She was so over it. She was so done. And
I mean, I would be if someone did that in my face. So anyway, so she's burnt. So Sister Julienne's sorts it so she's not badly burnt. It's just superficial. And Trixie's like, I can't cope. I've got these pills. So she cries, and Sister Julienne is there. Is there anyone I should fetch your telephone? Now, earlier on at bonfire night, Jeffrey had seen her and realised she was really melancholy. He was seeing she was so down. He was like, I can come round, I can speak to you, I can cook for you. She's like, yeah, let's sort it. He's like, you need to lean on me. I'm here, kind of thing. So then she's like, is there anyone I can fetch your telephone? She's like, yes, my brother, Jeffrey.
Thank goodness she said that. Yeah.
Well, Jeffrey's here, doling out the tough love, right? Now, he's saying basically she's dependent on these pills, asking about how often she goes to Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Now, they have a big heart-to-heart, which I loved, talking about love and how they both run from it and all this, right? But then this is where I disagreed with Jeffrey. Jeffrey basically implored her to run to her husband after he just treated her like that and run off.
Yeah.
And that annoyed me. Bex?
What
did you think to that? Because I know Jen exactly feels the same way as me.
And I'll tell you more about what I think, because I can never zip it. I can never zip it.
I mean, thing is, it was a different time. And
Bex, I'm gonna make you a shirt that says it was a different time.
People just didn't give up on marriages in those days, did they? They just stuck it out.
To be fair, you're not wrong.
Here's the thing. I don't think they should get divorced, but I'm saying, like, I think Matthew needs to stew a little longer. I don't think he's like, because okay, here's the thing. My mom and I watched the scene. I'm like, I'm watching it with her, and I said to her after they had the phone call with him and Trixie, I was like, I might be willing to go to like have that phone call and then go over there, but as soon as we're in person, after we have hugs, after we say hi to Jaunty, after we send him to his room to play, after I put my bags down and we're sat on the couch, be like, babe, we're gonna have a serious discussion.
Yeah, but
I came here and I want us to work and I want us to be happy and I want us to move past this, but we're gonna have a real serious talk about how we handle ourselves in this marriage, because something like this is never going to happen again.
Well, that's my point that annoys me, because she calls him and then he's like, oh, it's not forever, it's 4 to 5 months and I can come back and manage from home. Spoiler alert, that doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah, but I don't think he is stewing in America.
He needs to be stewing more.
I know. I don't know. Matthew's really let himself down.
He has.
Yeah.
We're disappointed with that, dude.
Not with the
and here's
mismanagement. I'm fine with that. It's the way he's behaved since then.
Bex is like running into the ground. Here's what I find really annoying about it. And I'm not this is I'm just gonna like blanket blame men for this, okay? But I'm sure women do it too, okay? When you do something so jerky, right, or shitty or whatever you want to say, you know what I mean? Like you do something like selfish and like self-serving and like, you know, without consideration for another person, and then you do it, and there's like no way that the person you put in that pickle with you is gonna be able to like turn back time. You know what I mean? Like we're here now. Yeah. Like where are we gonna? You know, like this is the quagmire you've gotten us into, and then because you know that now you've put them into this mess, then you're like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, babe. Like he was on the phone like, oh, I've just been gutted. Like I can't sleep. I'm, you know, da, da, da. It's like, no.
Yeah, but he's also lied to her again, because now we know he's not going to be coming home in 4 or 5 months, because he has.
It was never going to be a 4 or 5. He said 5 years to her. He said 5 years in last week's episode. He was like, it's going to take time to like rehab this building, turn the neighborhood around, like work on this investment, collaborate with this business partner of mine. We are living here for the next foreseeable future.
Well, do you know what really annoyed me when they were on the phone? They were just both so lovey-dovey.
I know.
And like Jeffrey was listening, I'm coming out to join you, and Matthew thanking her. Yeah, I just hated it.
And she's like, well, guess what, babe? She's like, you're not going to have to wait for long, because I am going to come as soon as I blah, blah. And he was like, oh my God. He's like, I can't ask for anything. I was just, oh no.
Do you think Matthew's going to be in the film?
No. Have you watched the latest series, Bex?
Well, no.
We're going to start the latest series. I'm going to power through.
So, well, if you watch the latest series, you probably know the answer to that. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
I'm telling you where I'm up to. I've got 2 episodes left.
Right, watch them and then talk to me.
I don't know if I can. Talk to her, because we have to talk about it.
I don't know if you can.
I just know what's going to happen. I just don't know if I want to watch it.
You're going to have to.
Bex, you're contractually obligated to watch this. You have made a legal obligation.
I'm not, because
I'm going to get all the listeners to send hate mail. I'm going to put your face on and your address.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
You not watching
the last
it would be
episode
like
of this
Matthew
series
not telling Trixie about the fact that he's run the business into the ground. I'm just going to say that.
Well, just know that I'm purposefully not watching it.
Until you have to watch it, you're going to say.
I do have to say, guys, it's one of the most beautifully written and the most amazing episodes with loads of different Easter eggs in.
Really?
I can't wait.
One of the best things I've ever watched. I've watched it 3 times.
Are they setting it up for the film?
Yes.
Mamma mia.
It's the new Crown for me.
Oh, God, honestly, right.
Oh my God, stubborn. Thy name is Bex. Like, look in the dictionary and next to the.
What should we talk about now?
So we're done with Trixie and Matthew. Yeah, let's be done with those two.
I want to talk about Trixie though. Like, she's got ointment on her burns, on her legs. That ointment is going to be the richest, stickiest ointment, and she's wearing a pair of silk pajamas.
I'm sure she put like something like Vaseline on there. I'm like, why are you wearing those pajamas there? If the ointment is sticking to your clothes, why?
I love that Jeffrey's back. I just love Jeffrey.
Well, you'll love the last episode.
It's amazing.
Oh wait, she says Jeffrey comes for the fireworks because it's.
Well, let's talk about bonfire night then.
And she says, how did you know we're having a party for bonfire night? And he says, well, Sister Veronica and I have quite the correspondence. Keep up quite the correspondence. Now, put a pin in that, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, but also it's very like, oh, I can have friends besides you. You know what I mean? Like, he says it in a nice way, but I just was like, she's like, oh, wait, how do you know what's going on? As if like the only way would be as if I had told you. And he was like, no, I have my own life. Like, these people like me on my own, not just because I'm your brother, you know?
I love Jeffrey.
I also love Jeffrey.
I love Jeffrey too, but can I just say one more thing? The line from Jeffrey that actually I didn't love was when they were sitting on the couch and he was talking to her about like getting back with Matthew and everything, and he was like, and they were recollecting the wedding day, and he was like, you were fearless that day or something. I was like, what? That to me was a kooky all of that wedding planning time when he was saying that, you know, you were so powerful, you were this beautiful, you know, he was really laying it on, and I just thought no, we need to dial this back now. This is not, I'm with Jeffrey 100%, but that was too much.
Now we've got a lot to get through now, guys. Are we done on Trixie?
Yeah.
Now, firework night. Fred said one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. Fred was like, oh, the fireworks will be shop bought, not homemade.
I know.
Bloody what?
Out there making like homemade bloody fireworks.
You know what else I loved? The fact that him and Reggie cooked up this plan to have him there at the fireworks. Cyril was the most excited man in the world. But you know what else I loved?
He was.
You know when they have plans like this in shows and you're like, oh God, someone's going to find out. Do you know what I mean? Really embarrassing. Yeah. No one did. There was no repercussions. It just happened and we didn't have to worry about it. I absolutely loved that. Can't tell you how much you hate stuff like that.
Well,
do you mean getting caught by Violet?
Yeah.
But Fred was the most, he went back to his roots with that, because between this and the turnips, this is like old school Fred when he is doing his kind of like, what's the word? Not scallywag. He's being a scamp. He's being like, you know, because she said,
a rascal.
Rascal. Rascal is perfect. Because she said, oh, you know, he's like, oh, Vi, I don't feel too good. And she's like, I know how much you wanted to go to this event with me. She's like, but no, you have to stay home. And he's like, oh, I guess I will. Then Reggie comes over and sits next to him, and he's like, Reggie does the biggest wink, by the way, in the world. Like, it's so like cartoonishly large of like an acting moment. And obviously Vi's not going to see it, and it's obviously like the cutest thing, because literally 10 minutes later they're out in the courtyard of Nonnatus house and they're having a grand old time, and you know, he's never going to have to pay for
apples. Now, who shows up? Which nefarious man?
Oh, Sylvester.
And this is how we're going to go into the Joyce and Sylvester storyline, guys.
Oh, wow. Look at that long walk that you beautifully took us on there.
Yeah. So Rosalind notices Sylvester's reaction, and I think...
Oh, wait, which reaction?
Not Joyce, Sylvester's reaction. Rosalind notices Joyce's reaction to Sylvester come in, and she's a bit like, her interest is a bit piqued, like, that's a bit weird. And... Yeah, so he turns up and Joyce is obviously very upset or whatever. Anyway, then they do this big whole thing on wages in another bit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They make a real thing.
Yeah. Wages are in. They see that she stamps them. I'm like, why are we paying so much attention to the wage
and
packets
Sister
here?
Veronica's like, I'm doing these packets, these very important wage packets. And then, you know, it's like there's a close-up of like her putting the stamp that says OSRN on the, you know, on the thing. It was, they really took us on a journey there.
So Joyce, basically Sylvester is bribing her, and she has to, he was like, this isn't your full wages, and she's like, it's a half my wages, and he was like, I could take it all, this is just the start. Right now, can I just say, I was loving Rosalind's detective skills here.
I wish I got paid with a brown envelope of cash.
Of course you do 1950s.
I can't imagine anything worse.
Why do you wish? I hate having cash, it's inconvenient. I'm like, pay it into my bank account, it's easier.
You guys. I mean, I never have or spend cash now. Up until COVID, I was still.
That then?
I just like the administration of it.
Here's the thing. I worked at a job in my 20s and early 30s where every single week the boss would hand out your physical checks, and for a long time she would literally give you your paycheck. Like it was like a hard copy paycheck. And the mountain that had to be moved to get her to be willing to give us all direct deposit so that we could like not have to deal with like waiting for her to hand out our checks. Because the other thing about it was that she really loved to like walk around the room and like physically give you your check. You know what I mean? She had so many like power issues, whatever. But it was so annoying because you wanted that money right away in your
And
bank
then you
account
had to
because all of
pay
us
it.
had bills and everything. And then it's like you're walking around with the check. You have to go to the bank. You have
Yeah.
to do blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And this was in
Did
like
you
the
want the
20.
admin, Bex?
Well, up until COVID, I was paying my credit card by check.
Oh my God,
Like,
you
but
are
in the
from
mail
the
though.
1950s.
When they were going to get rid of checkbooks, I was outraged.
Oh my God.
We still do pay some bills with checks. My mom does like to pay bills with checks sometimes.
Right,
But my
guys.
mom is also
So
in her
Sylvester.
mid-70s, so.
Got so much to cover today. Sylvester gets up at Cyril's church, right? And he's like, "Oh, today's a great day, guys. I got paid. I got my first paycheck." And everyone's like, "Hey, man." And I'm like, "This is so bad. You're doing it in front of God and everything. Like, so bad."
It was so brazen. And you know what? I don't even actually know if he would have done that. But then Mrs. What's her name's?
Williams.
Mrs.
Wallace.
Wallace, I think is right. Yeah. She goes over to him and she's like, "Oh, do you want some cake?" And she says like, "There's this crappy English cake." And she's like, "There's this really delicious Jamaican cake." And he takes the Jamaican cake and he's like, "Oh, it tastes just like home. Oh. And so then he's trying to get in there and, seem like he's this really upstanding guy. The fact that he held up his extorted, ex-wife's paycheck and then said it was his first. He's such a
Well,
horrible,
I just loved
horrible man.
Rosalind peeking around the corner, recognizing it. And then I loved at the end when she confronts him, right? And he's like, "Would you like to would you like a cigarette?" And she was like, "No, thanks. I only smoke methylated." Like it was so
like they're like the clean cigarettes or something. Like the good girl cigarettes. Like I don't just, yeah.
But she's like, "Why are you lying and saying it is yours?" This is a direct question. And I just thought, this is amazing.
But he says, "Well, why don't you ask somebody else? Like, why don't you ask Joyce or whatever?" And then she's like, "No, I'm asking you. It's a direct." Like, she like made him stand there and like say something.
But she had real balls for it, didn't she? But
really
I was also
did.
like, he's terrifying.
Really did.
You shouldn't do that, maybe.
The thing is, so in my head when I was, because I kind of forgot this was going to happen. And in my head, because he came out of wherever they were meeting for the church service, I thought that Cyril was going to see this and like kind of come out and get involved and not save the day, but you know what I mean? Like kind of be like back her up, be like, we'll give extra like manly, like gruffness or whatever to it.
Be like the knight in shining armor, Jen.
I mean, as always, I didn't want to say it, but you said it. But then he didn't, and I was actually I love Cyril, but like the fact that she did it on her own and she had no like white knight or whatever, I love that. Because she stood up to him.
But I was concerned for her because I love her.
Well, I just thought he was going to get violent. I mean, honestly, this whole time I really thought that Sylvester was going to like actually
thinking people are going to throw babies across the room. You know what I mean?
I know, but
that's to say, well, we know my history with violence, and I was like, what? You haven't got a history with violence.
No, I don't. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, and not in any way to minimize or downplay, like DV or anything like that. But I guess the fact that Sylvester, even though he was a real menace and even though he was so terrible the whole time, that he never came off as actually more threatening or did anything more intense than what he did, kind of was odd to me. Like, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but he said
to Rosalind, "Tell her to give my regards to Claudine." Right? Yeah. So then we cut to Joyce packing to leave with Nancy and Rosalind imploring her to tell them the whole story. So obviously she's gone home, told her about it, and then she's basically going. And then she's like, "I am Claudine." And this is when she actually finally admits it. Rosalind and Nancy were absolutely ace. They were like, "We're going to talk to Sister Julianne. This isn't on you, this is on him." It was amazing. And then Sister Julianne,
girls.
Chef's kiss. Do you think I haven't seen a story like yours thousands of times? Bright, valuable women brought to their knees by the ignorance and brutality of men. Yes! Get the police.
As you love to say, what does he say? Like, injected into my veins? Like,
injected into my veins.
I mean, Sister Julianne.
Even then, she was like, "Your tenure here is not in question. He needs reporting for blackmail." And poor Joyce was like, "Why are you doing this for me?" And she was like, "In leaving that man and that life, you have done more than most women can find the strength to. I consider it an honor to match my strength to yours."
Yes. Which, by the way, can I just say, the wording of that reply was so beautiful, and I felt so pitch perfect because the way that it was worded lifts up Joyce and lifts up what she did. It does not say it in a way that diminishes women who could not do it, or women in a different situation that didn't have the same outcome. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just talks about the fact that it's incredibly hard and, Or at least that's how I took it. I mean, I've, that's my interpretation of it. And so it was such a beautifully non-judgmental way of saying,
Now,
like, she understands the hardship of being in the situation, but she also lifts up Joyce for being able to get out of it.
yeah. Now, it did have a bit of I wanted to see him being arrested, but how it ended was Sylvester came to the door, and Joyce was like, I've told the truth, and slams the door on him. And everyone clapped, including me. I did genuinely clap.
I love that, but I didn't like the way that this resolved.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted to see the police arrest him.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that the way that they staged that, I thought that he was coming to, like extort her once more, and she was going to say, whatever she said. I can't remember. It was eloquent. And then a police officer was going to jump out on the side, or come up behind him, or come around the door and say, hey mate, you're coming with me, or something like that. She just closed the door, and I thought, okay, well, what now? Like, he's just going to to leave.
He's just,
like,
it's going to escape. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like he's not gonna. How is she gonna turn him in? I mean, they're all clapping for her, but that felt very kind of, I don't know, corny in a way. I'm sorry to say. Like, I like the outcome, but I just thought, pay the dues. Yeah, sorry, you just said all that, but
also she's never going to be free of him, because what if?
No, because Sister Julianne's sorting out the paperwork and everything to make sure that it's all fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she will. She is. Yeah, because I was a bit concerned. Shall we talk about the Mother of the Year contest, where you can win a bloody washing machine? That's modern, isn't it?
Can we save Mother of the Year for the end?
Do we have to? I want to talk about the other story last.
Oh, okay.
No, we can talk. We can do that first if you want. But I just want to say I saw the Useless Reverend. I just wanted to reference him. Right. So what do you want to talk about now? Because I don't want to.
No, let's talk about Mother of the Year. We'll do that, and then we'll finish with Miss Higgins, because I think that's our finale, right?
Miss Higgins is the best. It was one of my favourite storylines that's ever happened in the world.
Well, wait. If we're talking about Mother of the Year, are we talking about
Beryl Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Beryl? Which one's Beryl?
But she doesn't win Mother of the Year.
No, she doesn't. But that's where we find her, because Mrs. Walker is got a jar of pee that she's brought to Nurse Crane when they were talking about it to all the people.
But do you know what got me with this? So the Boy Scouts have done a presentation about fireworks are only fun when they're safe, which is very true.
Yeah.
And in the middle of a presentation where Nurse Crane is stood at the front, she beckons her over and starts talking over the useless vicar.
Wait a minute, say again.
She beckons Nurse Crane towards her, and then
does?
Mrs. Walker.
Beryl.
Oh, wait, I'm still lost on who Miss Walker is. I'm
the one who gave birth, who had 6 kids with her, because she had 3 of her own, and then she had sister's 3.
Kids.
She's the one that gave birth on the bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was not connecting whoever that lady
Ironically,
was.
not a walker. She was a passenger.
Oh.
But we meet her at a scout presentation
where she tries to give a wee to Nurse Crane, right?
Which has been in a handbag for over a day.
I mean, either way, I don't. Even if it had been in your handbag for 15 minutes, that's too long.
Oh, girls, I can't believe we still have to test. I know it's medically important, but I can't believe we still have to test people's pee and poop for things, because that is just so gross. It's so gross, and so much of human life is just disgusting.
And when you're pregnant, you've got a wee, and it's so hard to do into a little part. It's just a nightmare.
Oh my God.
A wee test anyway. They give you a tiny little pot.
I know. I used a cup and then threw it out. I had this cup that I just kept in the bathroom for ages. I washed it out and everything, but then I just threw it out at the end of the pregnancy.
I can't imagine.
Anyway, Beryl Walker, she's like, Nancy Caesar, she's like, you need to take better care of yourself right now. Poor Mrs. Walker, as we said, looking after her own 3 kids, because his sister is in hospital for another 6 more weeks. Where the hell's the sister's husband and her husband?
Oh, they're probably just living their normal lives. They're there. They're not doing anything. No, they're not contributing.
So poor Beryl's rushing around everywhere, right? And she's already had a false alarm. They bring him in and it wasn't happening. And she was like, oh my God, but I've still got to get her kids to come and visit her, because there's only 2 visiting days, but I've got to get 3 buses. It sounds an absolute nightmare, right?
Nightmare.
Anyway, Violet's there and Reggie are just talking or whatever, and someone comes and shouts, help, help, help. It's the most ridiculous. Someone's sick on the bus is what he said. No, someone's not sick on the bus. Someone's giving birth, mate. That was the most ridiculous.
I thought she didn't give birth until almost the end of the episode, though. After they'd already talked
She
about
didn't,
Mother
but
of
I've
the
just
Year.
diluted everything that's happened in her story because there's not really much else to do with that.
Oh, but what even? I mean, I love the Mother of the Year storyline, but like, what even prompted it? Because it felt like Reggie was talking about his mom, and then Violet was, talking to him about
I
her
think it was
being his
probably just
mom
an
as
excuse to
well.
get Violet. I think it was just an excuse to get Violet called Mum by Veggie, and that
Oh,
Veggie, and then Sister Julienne to get the accolade.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That's
I
what I
didn't
think.
understand where it like came from. I mean, it seems it's
I think it
Yeah.
was
nice. I
just
just
a
didn't get
plot
where it came
point,
from.
Jen.
I thought you
Well,
were
hang on.
saying it came from Beryl
Let's finish
somehow.
Beryl Walker, and then we can talk about that. So
Okay.
Nancy comes on the bus, delivers the baby. The cord is round its neck. Nancy was low. She's like, "You don't do things by half, do you?" And then push, and then literally 2 seconds later, it's a little
Well,
boy.
she just pulls the
Too
cord off,
quick.
and like then he's like got like a like a telephone wire hanging out of her vagine or something, and then
But
the
born at
baby comes out.
3:23 on the 23 bus, I did like that. I like
Yeah.
the way
Uh,
that Violet was just sat on the bus.
I know. So the kids, she's got the little baby who, I mean, it's not a little baby,
He
but
looked
it's a
about
baby.
6 months, but I presume that was the sisters.
Yeah. And then a toddler. So Nancy says to Violet, can she look after? Violet literally just takes a seat and watches. I would
yeah,
take.
she's got popcorn and everything. She's there with the front row. You guys, I think this whole storyline should have been cut. We didn't need
I'm
this.
I'm kind of with you.
We didn't need Beryl. It didn't add anything important to me.
Because we not
I mean,
only
there
had
was
the Beryl thing, but we had
yeah.
the Mother of the Year ceremony. We had Sister Veronica and Mojo having a massive argument. We had the
Yeah.
whole Turner situation going on because again, that
Oh
was
my
about
God,
another
yeah.
Mother of the Year situation. I think it was
Yeah.
just a plot point to get it, so they were talking about all the mothers. But when you're just like, there's a lot going on here, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, they could have. Well, I mean, they just didn't need Beryl to make that point. I mean, there are already like 45 different points that have been made about Mother of the Year without that one.
Do you know what I did like when Tim was saying to Sheila, "You're the Mother of the Year every year. I don't know why they need to bother with thing." And then the phone rang.
Yeah, exactly. And Sheila's like, "Oh my God." But wait, before
Now,
we get to that,
oh, go on.
I do want to say something about Mother of the Year. And because this was actually for me like a real highlight. And I was already crying, but I cried a lot when this scene happened at the very, very end. So Sister Veronica is giving Monica Joan like a sponge bath, basically. And
Yeah.
she's just very sweetly humming along, beautiful
Yeah.
music or whatever.
Which, let's be
And,
honest, it's not the nicest thing to be doing anyway. So to make it a bit better by
no.
to yourself by humming, great.
Yeah, and she wasn't trying to have a conversation. She was just, whatever, And Sister Monica Joan is rude to her and is like, "Oh, if I wanted to hear music, I would have gone to morning prayers, but I didn't. So can't she just like shut up?" And she was like, "Oh, okay, fine." So then she does, and and doesn't say anything rude back or whatever. And then she gives Sister Monica Joan like a fresh cloth, and she says, "Okay, you can do the bits that for your own modesty or whatever." And then turns around and
No way. It was just chef's kiss the way she did that because she didn't say like for your own modesty. She was like, if there's anything else you like,
oh,
you want
one
to
to
take care
ten,
of.
to, 1 to 10
Or
too.
10 to.
Yes,
But it was
yes.
the way she just like looked down and was a bit like, I just loved it.
Yeah. And then she like turns her back on Sister Monica Joan. And I think she just keeps on chatting. She's just like asking her a question or talking about something that's going on or whatever. And Sister Monica Joan is annoyed and says something else to her, and she's like, "Well, and then Sister Monica Joan throws the towel at her head and hits
Yeah.
her with it. And she turns around and she's like, "What?" And then she picks up the towel and throws it at Sister Monica Joan,
Loved it.
and it hits the headboard. And actually, even my mom was like, "Oh, that was mean," meaning about Monica Joan, what she did,
Yeah.
right? And so Sister Veronica was so upset. She was so upset. And then Sister Monica Joan said, like, "Oh, I feel like what if that was a knife that you'd thrown at me?" I'm like, "Okay, well, it wasn't a knife, obviously." And then Sister Veronica runs down to Sister Juliet, and she's like, and she actually interrupts Sister Juliet and Rosalind talking about how Rosalind is trying to find a church, which will then feed into her going to Cyril's church, obviously. But she says, "You've got to come and deal with this. Like, I'm at my wit's end. Like, I am going to probably strangle this woman. Like, I can't take it anymore." And so Sister Julianne goes upstairs, or wherever Sister Monica Jones' room is at this point, and the scene is so amazing. You don't know how it's going to play out. So she turns to Sister Veronica. She's like, you threw that rag at her. You shouldn't have done that. I want you to apologize." And Sister Veronica has this look on her face, and it was so classic because it was really like two siblings fighting, and you can tell she has this moment where she wants to say it's how unfair it is that she has to apologize, but she like bites her lip, and she goes she says, I am very sincerely sorry. I do apologize. I ask your forgiveness." Like, really very perfectly contrite, good apology. And then Sister Julianne turns to Sister Monica Joan, who just, oh, she's being so annoying. And she says, now you apologize to her back. And then Sister Monica Joan is like, thinking that she's like the only one that's been, violated here and everything. And
also, Sister Julianne was like on her last nerves. She reminded me of my mum in the 80s.
Oh my God.
Sister Julianne was putting out fires today.
Yeah, she was.
She was, you could tell she was just so irritated. She was like, I cannot freaking believe I have to deal with this. And so Sister Monica Joan makes a comment like, oh, you're dealing with me as if I'm a recalcitrant child who won't accept da-da-da. And she's like, well, you know what? That's pretty much spot on because that's exactly how I feel. She's like, now you better apologize. Like, she was so mad. And Sister Monica Joan was like, like she was just such a snot. But she did say she was sorry. And she's like, oh, I'm getting out of here. So Sister Julianne is like you guys said, like she's solving everyone's problem. She's like just doing the absolute most in the best way. And so by the time we get to the best Mother of the Year or like Mother of the Year competition, they're all sat there. It's like classic Poplar. Like everyone's on stage and then the whole audience is in the common area and they've got like little tables set up as if it's like kind of a dinner and a show type of a thing. And Reggie comes out and this was so beautiful. And I love the way they did this because he came out and he was, looked so nice and so sharp. And he had a box and it was a box with dirt from his mom's grave or something like that, and then it was a plant that came from his mother, from like his other mom's, something, and then the plant was ivy, which was his mother, but then he also planted violets, which was his other mother. And then Fred came out like so proud, so sweet, and he said,
well, he got dead emotional, didn't he? And he couldn't finish, so Fred did it for him.
I know, and he said the ribbon is from Violet's haberdashers, and it's in the color that Ivy loved the most. It was like the perfect blending and like loving and respectful gesture of like these two maternal women in his life. It was so beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. And the fact that he called out Violet as like an equal weight with his biological mom was so lovely to me. Like it was just so wonderful. And then it's like, okay, everyone claps and it's like this really beautiful moment. It's like, okay. And then you see like some of the girls like getting up out of their chairs and they're like going around. And then was it Sister Veronica that said it, or who was it that spoke on behalf of Sister Julianne?
But the actual
Nancy and Trixie?
What do you mean?
Someone says like, oh, she's like birth. Oh, maybe it was Sister Monica Joan.
Sister Monica Joan got up and said, I am not known for relishing the limelight, right?
Yeah, and everyone
Trixie
laughed.
And Jeffrey all looked at each other like, what the hell?
Yes.
And then her and Sister Monica Joan, her and Sister Veronica did the most beautiful tribute. Bearing in mind they've both been at each other's throats, so they've actually come up with this plan after she basically admonished them both.
Yes.
The most beautiful, beautiful tribute to her.
Yeah.
Although I didn't really understand the line of clothing.
That didn't make sense to me. It was something like, oh, all the moms of Poplar like made this for you or something
donated
like that.
Something up.
It was odd. It was odd. But she says, you've been at the beginning of so many lives, at the opening of their eyes, and 1,000 lives or whatever. And then she said in the closing of 1,000 more, like you've done so much, like you've been this person to all of us. It was so
gorgeous.
beautiful. The tears were like truly flowing at this point. And honest, and they cut to Sister Julianne, and she is beautiful acting as always from Jenny Agutter. Like I've said it so many times. Sister Julianne is my number one. Like she's my ride or die. Like I love her. And this moment where they said, oh, this is for Sister Julianne. Like they finally called it out, like who they were talking about. And the look on her face of sheer shock that
and
she
joy
was
and overwhelmed. I don't know how she manages it in just one facial expression. She was crying. I was crying. You were crying.
I'm sobbing like a little wee-born baby. I mean, I know we all were, and it was just so lovely. And Sister Julianne has never had that title of mother. Like she's not been ever considered that way. And the inclusivity of that moment. And
ironically, she didn't want Mother Superior.
Right, exactly. But actually, I'll just say something like, I just want to be a little vulnerable for a minute. So this storyline really, really touched me in a lot of ways, and this was a real favorite of mine. And I am not a biological mother to anyone, as you both know, as all of our listeners know. But I have always had a real strong feeling of motherly love that I want to give and share and, put out there and everything for in whatever context I'm able to do that. And I don't know if I may have someone will call me mother at some point in my life, only time will tell. But to me, the way that this scene that talked about what it means to be a mother to so many people and give that motherly affection and relationship to so many people without the strict confines of being, you know, a biological mom or like someone who is raising little children or something that is in that most traditional paradigm of how we view motherhood. I felt so uplifted by that, and I felt so touched by it. And to see Sister Julianne honored just really felt like an amazing
nod.
Just, I don't know, yeah, it just really
It was
filled
a
me up.
nod to other mothers. Like, you don't have to be a biological mother.
Yeah, and I mean, motherhood is such an enormous thing, and there's so much conversation about it, and there's so many different things about it. And honestly, it can be a hard conversation for me to navigate at times. You know, whether I'm listening or trying to contribute or trying to share how I feel about it, and you know, my life experience about it and everything. But this to me was one of the nicest and sweetest and purest and most lovely ways to talk about motherhood, and on a show that is all about motherhood all the time, which you know is wonderful and beautiful. And so I
but
just
also
want
for everyone
to say,
in the room to be celebrating it, not for anyone to be like, oh, but this. Everyone was like standing ovation, loving it, having it because she deserved it.
Yes.
Can we talk about Sheila becoming a mum again?
Oh,
because Esther Tang wanted to speak to May, and they were like, you have to do it now. We're not going to do it in weeks, like we said. We've got to do it this week because Esther decides everything to do with this adoption. Like, it's just because obviously, bearing in mind, she wasn't into the adoption, was she? She was into the fostering, and they'd had this whole scare, and we just basically thought that she was going to not let her stay with them, let alone be adopted.
Do you know what? Suddenly, well, so Sheila gets the call to say that their monthly meeting's been brought forward because Esther Tang wants to have a phone call.
Yeah.
So they've arranged this international call. Sheila then goes to Sister Julianne.
Well, hang on. First off, she tells Mr. Dr. Turner, what does he say? Sheila, May is in Towers.
Only a man.
All right,
come
yeah.
On,
so anyway, yes. Then she goes to Sister Veronica and Sister Julianne.
Sister Julianne goes to Sister Veronica and she says she's going to arrange for Sister Veronica to send a telegram to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
What do they call it?
To the Hong Kong house to dig some dirt on Esther Tang, basically.
Yeah, basically to find out what her change of circumstances are. This put me in mind of the time that Sister Julianne used the money to go to the cinema, because I was like,
get Sheila to bloody pay for it. She's a doctor. She's GP's wife.
They've got a dual income in the 1960s. Get Sheila to pay for the telegram.
You guys are so savage for that. I'm sorry. That is
a life of impoverishedness.
So anyway, the dirt on Esther Tang is basically that she's had another baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lost her job with the American family. She's fallen on hard times.
Also, while this is happening, all this talk about May being fostered, but Dr. Tim saying Angela doesn't even know she's adopted. You're all talking about this about May in front of May and all this in front of Angela, but Angela doesn't even know she's been adopted, which is a great point.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because one of the scenes at the end is them telling
Angela
that she was adopted. That was one of the scenes at the end, them telling Angela she was adopted.
I didn't get that scene.
And then Angela said, thank you for choosing me, which is actually gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that they left Beryl in this freaking episode for me and they cut that out. Oh.
That's true. So anyway, Sister Veronica does some finding out, which is that she's lost a job, got back on the street. Now she's got a baby boy, which we now know in series 15. We'll put a pin in that.
But wait a minute. How in the heck have they not talked to Angela about the fact that she's been adopted this whole freaking time?
Well, to be fair to them, they do say all of the books, I don't know if they've read books, don't tell them until they're old enough to understand. So I don't think it's that they're keeping it from her, but I think they've never really got to the point where they've made that decision that she's old enough to know. But then obviously with everything that's going on with May, they're like, she's old enough to know.
This is crazy to me. Like, that's crazy.
Well, do you know what else is crazy to me? That weird phone call with Sister Veronica.
Oh my God.
Because,
yeah.
So, number one, how does she know that Sister Veronica's actually translating what she says properly?
Well, also, they say
you can trust a nun.
Yeah, I think we can trust Sister Veronica. She's not trying to. But
she's a admitted pathological liar. But I love that you both said we can trust her. Yeah.
May is it May that's worried that a mum's going to speak to her in Cantonese?
Yes, she does. Yeah.
So Sister Veronica agrees to join the call. But then what gets me is Esther Tang. They set up this international call, but then Esther Tang, I mean, they do hold the phone to May towards the end. Esther Tang could be like, she could be talking to anybody.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I know, you guys, but she's calling the adoption agency. The adoption agency, like, is her representative there. But like, why would the adoption agency be like, oh, we have a child here to talk to you? Like,
it wouldn't, but it just annoyed me. And then the questions are really inappropriate. Do you love them? Would you like to live with them forever? It's like, why suddenly have you gone? Is it because she's had another baby that she's like, actually, I want her to have a really good life? I just didn't understand why this sudden turning. You know what I mean? Here's
what I got from the way that they explained the Mrs. Tang's storyline was May's biological mother has been focused on May while she's working for this British family, and she's got, that situation or whatever. She lost that job unbeknownst to us why, fell into, the same lifestyle she was in when she had May, which resulted in, May, and now has resulted in another child. And maybe this is being very unfair and ungenerous of me, and I fully admit that I could be wrong and being a bad person for saying this, but I felt like it was like, oh, well, she had another baby, so now she's got a baby, so she doesn't need another kid. She can like make sure May's all good and like all set to go, because now she's got the baby that she can keep, and it's gonna be like, not like she doesn't love May anymore, but like, well, I don't need to keep pining about this child because
I've got one to keep me satiated with here.
Well, I mean, again, that's really horrible, and I'm not.
But you know what got me? Why are they celebrating this adoption when she's been so flighty and stuff? Like, you can't trust what she says. So why are they celebrating? Wait until the ink's dry, then you celebrate.
Well, no, but I think once she's said it's going to happen,
even then, she's so untrustworthy.
But the thing is,
I think it's pretty much taken as official then.
Not for me, it's not.
Well, this is the same woman that thought that the Turners were bad parents because May had that drowning accident. She didn't drown, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she was the one that called, and she says, I really don't
think she nearly drowned in her own lungs.
Well, yeah, she's like, I don't think these parents are like fit. Like, why am I letting my child stay with people that are going to let her like go into the ocean and like maybe not come out? You know what I mean? Like, and now all of a sudden she's pregnant, like, and she has this other kid, and it's like, oh, do you love your mommy and daddy? Okay, then I guess I'll sign off on the adoption. Like, it just, I don't know. It was odd after all we've been through with the storyline.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just weird to me. Like, it just felt like so, like, we're just going to wrap it up in a little bow, and like, now May's gonna be like, yes, I love my mom, and even the way that May, this is not the child, I'm sure this was the way she was directed, but like, she says, oh, do you love them? Like, yes. Do you want to live with them forever? And she's like, let me think about it. And then she says, yes. And they're like, oh, and it's like this child has really has not had any other parental relationship. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad. I wonder if I'm like totally missing something about this life experience that I'm being too hard on them, but
I think it's weird.
I don't know.
I agree. Right, can we talk about the main event now, please?
Your favorite storyline.
Really give this the kudos, the gravitas, the time. Miss Higgins, guys. This is one of my favorite things that's ever happened. Oh, but worse as well because it was
Okay, well you talk about it, Al. You're the one who's
so. Phyllis and Miss Higgins are sat at Miss Higgins' house, and Miss Higgins, they're just having a lovely little cup of tea. And anyway, there's a knock on the door, and this lady says, I am the wife of Victor Chopra, right? Now, Millicent kicks Phyllis out with absolutely zero explanation, right?
It was crazy the way she kicked her out. I loved
her kicking Phyllis out.
I thought that was nuts, you guys. Nuts.
But then lurked in her car.
But exactly, I like the way she waited outside after she'd been kicked out, right? So she's like, Victor is alive here in London. And then she's like, I always refer to him as John. And we're all like, is this what we think it is? Is this what we think it is? And then she's like, he is your son. What? We find out that she has a son. Oh my God. Then I loved that Phyllis stayed outside. It was the most exciting thing. She gives her a sherry.
Yeah.
And then she tells Phyllis the whole story about how she was 21. She went back to India after moving back to the UK because she yearned to go back. Oh, just chef's kiss, right? Absolutely loved it. We find out that she had a baby with a man called Krishnan Chowdhury, right? But they loved each other. It wasn't this thing that was, sometimes you can hear about this kind of thing and it was a horrible thing. It was, they were both respectable. But she was like...
He basically chose family duty and married... Did he? He
basically his culture.
woman of Hindu faith.
Yes, because she was like, it's amazing what you can do when no one is expecting it if you're both respectable. I thought, oh, get you, miss. And she said she never once mentioned her son to her parents or Krishnan Chowdhury.
So
Oh, wait, for real? I thought he knew.
No.
Oh, I thought he did know. That's why.
No. Her parents.
Oh, her parents. Oh, but
Yeah.
I think
But
he
he
knew
knew.
as
He
well.
knew. Yeah. He knew.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Now, Phyllis said the best thing you could say at this time. Phyllis was like, the most cherished are the adopted by people who've given up hope from having kids. And I just thought,
that was super sweet.
So true.
That was super sweet.
And then we meet Victor, and he was so sweet. And
I did really like Victor. Victor.
He was getting chrysanthemums to meet his mum. He was so nervous, but he was also, you could tell, really excited. Now, their meeting was one of the best things I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I cried.
Also,
cried.
His wife was lovely.
She was really, really lovely. He was really, really lovely. And he was like talking about the flowers and stuff. Oh, saying how he wished he bought them because he wanted them to be gift. Now they felt like they were in the way because he wanted to give her a hug, and they had this massive hug, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. She found out she's got a grandson called Harry who's doing dentistry in Liverpool. And at this point, Phyllis looks down and notices he's got swollen ankles. Now,
do you know what I thought?
Well, they're having tea at this stage, so.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think this the first time we watched it. The second time we watched it, I was like, Trump.
Oh, thanks.
Well, so anyway, Phyllis notices that, speaks to his wife, which was a really amazing move. Instead of like trying to speak to him or upset anything, she speaks to his wife, and she's really, really subtle and good about it. Phyllis was absolutely outstanding in this, right?
Yeah.
And his wife's like, Victor's been sick for a long time with his kidneys, right? So we kind of realize there's something wrong here. And then we kind of think, well, hang on, is this a last trip before, But he says about his nephrologist back in India. So he's obviously under good care and everything. And then he was oh, go on.
Oh, Dr. Turner says to him, like, when was the last time you saw your doctor? And he said 2 or 3 days before I left. And he said, did your doctor want you to travel? And he said,
well,
hang on. We've skipped the bit where she goes, they go into the lake, to the Thames and Ganges and everything.
So they go for a lovely walk along the stinking River Thames.
It was absolutely gorgeous. But also I want to say this. They say, I was afraid you would not like me, that I would not be like the person you carried in your mind, that I would disappoint you. Likewise. But that was not the case. And then they did both a really cute little smile to each other. And I've written in massive letters here, guys, inject it in my veins.
There you go.
Had a lovely game of basically learning about each other.
Oh, sat by the Thames.
Yeah. But then he starts to, I thought he was having a heart attack.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Well, it was a heart issue, wasn't it? Because they're saying your heart's failing.
I still don't really understand what disease he had.
So
I thought it was something with the livers, but
they described it as Bright's disease. Well, they didn't just describe it as Bright's disease. They said it was Bright's disease, which is basically a term for like kidney disease, high blood pressure, edema, albumin in the urine.
We always outdo ourselves with how good we are at pronouncing things.
Inflammation, nephritis. Is that it? Anyway, it's Bright.
I mean, I think his kidneys are failing and it's causing toxicity, which is then ruining his other vital organs.
Yeah, it's basically causing his heart to fail.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now, can I also just say, just before we did this, they were talking about his father as well, which we've spoken about. But Miss Higgins was just so serene, not bitter. They were just getting along so lovely, and it was like the most gorgeous memory for them both. Like I was literally in the middle of writing, what a gorgeous memory for them both when he grabbed his chest, and I was just like, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So at this point, they get him back to the surgery.
Yeah.
Dr. Turner now doesn't know. He knows that she's come in with him, but he doesn't know of the connection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does he ever?
Yeah, by the end he does. Because he's there when he dies, and she says, I was a mother, like I was there at when his eyes opened and when they closed for the last time.
And also, like, he knows of Harry as her grandson, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's like, do you know the family well? We have a connection that goes back many years. When Miss Higgins gives him a list of best nephrologists in the UK.
Yeah.
Guys, she was using her superpower to try and help it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
And then he stayed with Miss Higgins. He stayed with her.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
And then obviously he dies at a house, which is awful, awful, awful. The acting was just absolutely bloody sublime, everyone. Absolute. Miss Higgins, Victor, Harry, Phyllis. Oh, Miss Higgins' face. She looked so forlorn. She looked so sad. She looked full of joy when she was speaking to him. The acting in this episode, because also, bearing in mind, Miss Higgins kind of has been a bit of a bit part. I think she was brought in as a bit of a bit part. And we all love her now. She's this huge part for us. But for her to get a massive storyline like this and have like this back history that we kind of, we love for her, that she's now got Harry, it's absolute chef's. I just loved this. So she got what's the thing about a bushel? Light shining on your bushel.
She's hidden she's hidden her light under a bushel.
Yeah, now she's in the spotlight, and I just love that she had this spotlight episode for her, and she absolutely delivered. Loved it. Then when they had the scene where, because they're talking about the Thames and the Ganges, and they were talking about Hindu ceremonies where they go to the river and they perform their ceremonies. Then she's like, oh, people do that on the Thames now, when she was talking to Victor. So when her and Harry went to the Thames with the flowers, oh, God. Just absolutely.
I just find it, though, so heartbreaking that she's just got her son back and then he dies.
It was very, very, very heartbreaking. I'll tell you what else we've not spoken about. There's a slideshow for Miss Higgins and Victor to see together. Yeah. That Nurse Crane sorted. Oh, Phyllis was amazing.
Phyllis was a great friend to her in this. Yes.
She really was. Like, I just agree with staying that. Outside, like I would do that for you two. I'd pretend I'd go, but I'd stay because I'd be like, number one, nosy. And number two, making sure you were okay. But no, that's true. You would be.
I'd have peered through the window.
I would have been like, what are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere. Why are you kicking me out? This doesn't make any sense. That was I don't know. That was weird to me.
Yeah, but I think that's why she realised.
It was single paned windows in those days. I bet you could hear through the window.
I mean, I don't know if that's a healthy viewpoint on it. I'm going to be honest.
I just didn't make sense to me why she kicked her out so hard, and then 1 second after Miss Chowdhury left, Phyllis was back in there with like a glass of sherry, and she just like spilled her absolute guts about it.
Yeah, but
that felt weird to me.
I interpret that as Phyllis went back. She didn't then call Phyllis back in. Phyllis like went back and was like, "What's happened?"
Sure, but again, I mean,
I think that's quite symptomatic of the times though as well, because they're quite traditional with their
so
thinking.
The back's like, it was a different time.
Yeah, no, I am though, because they're both very formal. Miss Higgins is very formal. So she she would have wanted this private moment herself. She would have thought, well, I was an unmarried mum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think that Miss Higgins would have been very formal about it and been like, yes, I will have time with you on my own, because it was a very important thing. She knew who he was and she wanted to speak to him. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of having someone else there, I can see why Miss Higgins would do that, if I'm honest. I think she'd do that about something even less important, if I'm honest.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
But I just love that Miss Higgins, her son Harry was so lovely. He had a lovely life because he'd been given to
you mean Victor?
Victor, sorry.
Yeah.
He'd been given to a couple who were, the husband was Hindu and the mum was Dutch. So she was like, because everyone was all really concerned about his colour and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, I was never once concerned about your colour. I just wanted you to be wanted. It was just, oh God, it was just so well done. And it was so beautiful. And their scene of them two just getting on so, so well was just...
But that just made it all the more heartbreaking.
I know. But also I love the fact that she wasn't bitter about it, because she could have been. And she could have been really like, been spending the last 50 years of her life being, just eating it up about the fact that that guy, the Krishnan, went to marry someone else of his own culture and didn't stay with her to have this baby that she obviously wanted. She kind of made the best of it and carried on with it. And she is happy in her life. And I just think I'm so happy she got Harry out of it.
Yeah.
As she didn't get Victor. When he asked her what her favourite flowers were, and she was like, these ones. And then she put them on the Thames at the end. And I was like, he won at least.
Well, it was heartbreaking that she literally put the flowers in the Thames that were the ones that he gave her, like, less than, I mean, the flowers hadn't even wilted yet. That was the thing that was sad to me.
The first time he met her.
It was like she hadn't even had that long with him, which I did think was really, really sad.
It's a bit like that guy who came to Poplar just to die.
Well, you know what I mean? You know what it made me think of is
Has
remember
he come yet? He's not come yet, Alex.
Spoiler alert, it's a bit like the guy who comes to Poplar just to die.
but you know what it made me think of is like when you guys had Theresa May in office and it was when you'd had like 6 prime ministers in like 6 months.
No, it wasn't Theresa May.
No, it was, what was she called? Liz Truss.
Liz Truss.
We've had too many prime ministers, and now they want to get rid of our current prime minister. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for God's sake, let's just keep a prime minister for the full amount of the term. Might not all like them, but let's just keep them.
Well, I don't know. At this point,
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
when we have the only reason I object to this is when you have official functions, all of the past prime ministers get invited, and there's just so many of them now.
that's
I mean,
the
she
problem.
shouldn't be invited to anything.
No, she shouldn't. She should. I couldn't turn up out of shame.
To be honest, Bex, we shouldn't really complain about our administration right now.
No, we should not.
I was gonna say a system where you could just. I mean, I guess we do have the same system. We could do something, but we're not gonna do it. But it made me think about. You said it's Liz Truss, how she got into the prime ministership, and then they were doing things online where it's like, let's see which is going to last longer, this head of cabbage or Liz Truss being prime minister.
Amazing. Lettuce, it was actually.
Lettuce, yeah, something that, and that did make me
I was
laugh.
glued to that lettuce on YouTube every day.
And I think it did. I think she didn't last
The
as long
lettuce
as the
outlasted
lettuce.
it, 100%
Yeah, I was
did.
going to say, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
Miss Higgins, it was so beautifully done. Do you know what I did quite like about it? Not the fact that he died. Don't get me wrong, I did not like that about it.
yeah.
But I liked that it was kind of this storyline that started, finished. It was like a whole story in a story. Like their whole story. We saw their whole story together, those two. And we had a resolve, like, I know he died, which is awful, but we had a Harry out of it. I just thought it was beautifully done. I thought it was brilliantly acted. I thought it was beautifully written. I love Miss Higgins, and I'm just so glad she got that moment in the spotlight.
Yeah.
She looks so forlorn at the end, guys. So forlorn.
As she should. I mean, that was really. I mean, she really went through the ringer there. The thing is, and I'm just gonna say this because I guess I want to be a hater. I don't know.
Well,
Jenn.
This to me was a storyline that deserved more than what it got. It kind of my same problem with the whole May thing. Even with this episode it was too much for one episode.
There was a lot. I don't know what was
There
going
was
on in Heidi's mind.
Like I mean, the thing I love the Miss Higgins storyline, and I think she well deserved it. But when Harry shows up and opens the door, and he's like, "Hi, Grandma," and she's like, "Oh, what?" That to me was crazy. No one processes things like this. Like to me, it just felt way. Her and Victor. That was when he said, "Oh, I bought these flowers," and then now they're getting. That was. I love that scene. But just some of it, the way that they were just absolutely like a speeding bullet through some of the stuff that was major stuff. I just was like, no, it's too. It like made it harder for me. I made it harder. I mean, I think if I don't know. I like some of the a lot of the notes hit perfect. Some of the notes didn't hit 100% for me. But
well, I absolutely loved it.
Yes, and as you should. Yeah. I mean, it's a great storyline. I'm not trying to take anything away from how beautiful it was, or your love for it, or anything like that. I think
just love Miss Higgins, guys. I love it.
I know you are a Miss Higgins stan. I feel like you haven't loved anyone like this since Barbara. I know.
Also, Sister Veronica and Julianne were talking about the deeds, by the way, and they have been transferred to the order now for you.
Thank goodness.
That's settled, which is great.
Goodness.
And it's because the Mother Superior,
yeah, Mother Mildred,
thinks it will work out very nicely for them if the Narcissus house is subject to a compulsory purchase order.
Exactly, which is great thinking.
Yeah.
What does that mean in this world?
If the council tell them they have to get out, they have to give them money for it, so they would benefit.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone got any other points before we do heroes and zeros?
This episode was, man, so much was going on.
Now, last episode, we said that I was going to get the first hero and zero.
Okay.
So, shall I go first?
Go for it. I don't know that we're actually going to be competing with each other this week between the three of us.
So, my zero is going to be Sylvester.
Yeah.
Good one.
What a horrible, horrible man. I do not like him, and I hope he's gone forever. My hero is going to be Phyllis. I thought she was the absolute chef's kiss of friendship.
I'm surprised you're not saying Miss Higgins.
I'm not saying Miss Higgins because I think Miss Higgins was great, but I think Phyllis was an amazing support for her, being there to do everything. She thought of everything for Miss Higgins. Miss Higgins was amazing, but the hero, I think, behind it all was Phyllis really supporting her friend brilliantly.
Yeah.
Love it.
My hero is going to be Rosalind.
Good one.
For confronting sniffing out that something was afoot, confronting Sylvester, and then just not taking any crap.
Good one.
My 0 was going to be Sylvester, so now I need to think of a new one.
Welcome to my life, guys.
I think Esther Tang.
Yeah.
For making May go through that, because May was worried about that meeting.
Yeah.
And she could have just said...
Why couldn't they do it the month later?
Well, she could have still spoken to May, but I just don't think that she had to put them through the suspense of what was it going to be. And I just think it was unnecessary. Yeah. So that's... But I mean, it's a difficult situation. So, it's not... Yeah, there's no right or wrong, but she's still my 0. There we go.
My hero and 0. Okay, I'll do my 0 first. My 0 is going to be Miss Higgins losing her son so fast. I did really like the storyline, even though I had some issues with storytelling, but that's a real tragedy, and I think I just felt bad about that, and also it seemed like he was really suffering, so that was sad to me as well. And his poor family, his wife, when she was crying, I felt bad for her too.
Also, does his wife just go back to India now?
That's where they live, so it would make sense.
But her son's here studied, she's literally gone from
but life's still in India.
And all of her family and everything else is there.
It's so sad.
It is so sad.
It was so sad. And I will say one line that I really loved about that the wife said when she first met Miss Higgins was, she said, "Victor is very adept at joy." And I thought that then the actor who played Victor really lived that. And that to me was actually that was one of the best aspects of the storyline, because he had such a positive outlook on this, even though it was very challenging. So my hero will be no surprise to either one of you, Sister Julienne.
Amazing.
She's my number 1. I love her so much. She solved everyone's everything this week that she touched, that she was involved with, and she helped Trixie, she helped Joyce, she helped Sister Monica Joan and Veronica. She's saving Nonata's house building, as she goes along, and to be recognized for all the good that she does. And she does she's the most background main character of, I think, the bunch, and the spotlight is not on her very much as a character, and
she does so much, though.
She does so much. She's like the glue.
We should reward her Mother of the Year again right now.
Honestly. Not just my hero, but again, honorary extra big ups Mother of the Year.
I want to do an extra hero, guys.
Okay.
And I'm going to be ultra schmaltzy, and I'm not normally like this, but I'm going to give our extra hero this week to Jenn, because I really was touched by your speech before about the mother.
Yeah.
So I am going to give that to you, because you really, you're on a podcast. You don't need to say stuff like that to the world, but you did. And I thought it was amazing and beautiful. And you're my hero.
It was very honest and...
Yeah, it was beautiful. So I
love you girls. I appreciate it.
Yeah, which is not normally the kind of thing I do, but there you go.
No, if she was there in person, she'd have hugged you.
I don't know if that would. Awkwardly.
I appreciate that.
Anyway, next week we'll be doing the Christmas episode, because we do it in a weird way.
Yeah.
So, we do always do it in a weird way.
I said that as if we haven't done this 14 other times before.
Well, you know what?
We did do it in a weird way.
We keep taking bloody breaks, and then I'm like, oh Christ, I can't remember what we're up to. So next week we will be doing the Christmas episode. So watch that and listen along.
Yeah.
And also follow us, all that.
It'll probably be aired at Easter, won't it?
Something like that, yeah. Well, week after next, yeah.
Oh, but wait a minute. This week is all about mothers, and tomorrow is UK Mother's Day.
Yeah. So, amazing. Enjoy. So, happy Mother's Day for a few weeks ago, guys, yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
To all the moms and all the mother figures in our lives.
Yes, exactly. All the Sister Juliennes out there as well. So,
yes.
Right. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.